go.
Almost 6:52, time now for the morning sprint. Hattie says it's going to be a beautiful sunny day before some rain comes back. Leah Linshide's previewing a call for action story about becoming an heir, and the company's trying to cash in on estates.
But we start with Christina Laurie, and news that a major street on Madison's Near East Side is closed this morning because of flooding. Good morning, Christina.
Good morning, Adam. East Washington between North First and North Baldwin Street is closed, causing cars to be rerouted here to East Washington Street. Cars are being rerouted. Traffic is already starting to pile up. Unfortunately, this isn't the only closure downtown drivers will face. East Main Street is closed near the Yahara River, and East Washington may be forced to close from rising river levels sometime next week. If that happens, cars here will be detoured all the way to Willie Street.
All right, thank you, Christina. So near where we saw Christina, Dane County opened up the Tenney Lock near Tenney Park, sending up to 6 inches of water downstream from Lake Mendota. That means people living along Lake Monona, Lake Wabeesa, and Lake Kaganza could see flooding in their neighborhood soon. Monona Grove High School's football team and Dane County jail inmates spent Wednesday filling sandbags to help keep water off waterfront properties.
8 families in Belleville are back in their homes this morning after the Sugar River hit some dangerously high levels earlier this week. The dam there went over its bank Tuesday night, sending water everywhere through the village. That water, though, has gone down several feet since. As the high water moves downstream to the south, there's now concern for people living in places like Albany and Broadhead. We've gotten reports of some minor flooding in those areas, but nothing as of now to require any evacuation.
Mechanics in the area are having to turn people away after hundreds of cars were abandoned in Monday night's flooding. Mechanics at Monona Tire on Madison's west side say that any car driven through the water may have battery, brake, or internal damage.
And our forecast for today does call for another day to dry out. Sunshine and low humidity today. A nice warm up this morning, already in the 60s by 8 o'clock this morning, topping at 77 degrees a little bit later on this afternoon. Now, tomorrow is an alert day, though. Rain is back in the forecast overnight tonight through Friday. A couple of rounds of showers and thunderstorms with the potential for heavy rain, as well as strong to severe thunderstorms. And that's your first alert forecast.
Thank you, Hattie. The big weather story today nationally is in Hawaii, where it's starting to rain right now, and rescue workers are getting ready before Hurricane Lane makes landfall this afternoon as either a Category 3 or 4 storm. The president has already declared a disaster in that state in order to get federal help there faster.
French officials say an attacker stabbed his mom and sister to death before being fatally shot by police overnight. A third victim is in critical condition this morning. This all happened in a Paris suburb. ISIS has claimed responsibility for the knife attack. French anti-terrorism investigators are still on the scene interviewing witnesses this morning. CBS This Morning will have the latest just after 7 o'clock.
The Ohio State University will be without its head football coach for the first 3 games of the season. The school suspended Urban Meyer for his handling of a domestic abuse case involving one of his now former assistants. The school's trustees said Meyer mismanaged the situation but didn't cover up the actions of that assistant coach.
Wisconsin Badger wide receiver Quintez Cephas will be in court later this morning on 2 felony counts of sexual assault. According to court documents, a woman told police in April that Cephas assaulted her and another woman while they were drunk. Now, Cephas says he's been wrongfully accused and that the relationship was consensual. Badger wide receiver Danny Davis is suspended for the first 2 games of the season. The criminal complaint says that he was there the night Cephas assaulted the women and took pictures.
Former Rockford, Illinois police officers, one of 2 people suspected of robbing a Janesville drugstore earlier this summer. Janesville Gazette reports 37-year-old Yulia Kuznets and a partner used a gun to steal prescription drugs from a Walgreens in that city. They are in custody in Illinois now, connected with 2 other robberies. Kuznets was fired in 2013 from the Rockford Department after serving 8 years there as an officer.
A local woman is calling for action over a $3.4 million estate and the company that says she's an heir to it. Vicky Fueger says she got a letter in the mail claiming she was a distant relative to a man who had died here in Madison. The company behind that letter promised to prove she was related for a 25% cut of whatever she got. Vicky signed on, then later learned the estate was in the millions of dollars and she had just signed away 25% of her portion. Now she wants to warn others about heir finding companies. We'll share both sides of that story. That's coming up tonight on News 3 at 10.
Thank you very much, Leah. 6:56 now. All sorts of highway and street closures to talk about this morning because of flooding. Let's go to Josh Tim for the latest. Hey, Josh.
Yeah, good morning. The Beltline is moving well. No problem showing up yet in either direction, although that westbound side is continuing to pick up between Stoughton Road and West Broadway. Looking at roads here in Dane County, yeah, still dealing with lots of flooded roads, especially on Highway 14 between Black Earth and Middleton, along with a road closure on Johnson Street over by Tenney Park on the east side. It's causing inbound East Washington to be quite a bit busier. Make sure you give yourself some extra time. But other main routes heading into the city, including on the interstate, they're cruising along at the usual speeds, no major crashes or delays. Your First Alert Traffic, I'm Josh Tim.
Thank you, Josh.
It's a nice sunny start to the day today. Temperatures are starting in the 50s this morning. We'll see a nice warm up, though, to highs in the mid to upper 70s later on this afternoon. Dry through the day today. Rain chances return overnight tonight into Friday. Grab that umbrella. Some heavy rain possible, as well as potential for severe weather. So tomorrow is an alert day for southern Wisconsin.
Thank you, Addie. So keeping people up to speed on what's going on. The governor's supposed to be visiting the shelter in Mazomanie today at the grade school there. And city officials here in Madison are going to be talking about what happens next now that East Johnson is closed, whether other streets need to be closed down. The latest on channel3000.com.